Hello everyone, I'm your boy BnB, and I am joined as always by my co-host Brett.
Hello there, I am the Brett Boy.
And welcome to episode 10 of the BnB podcast. Right. No, I only just now realized it is currently September 16th, 2019. I don't know when, I didn't check when the last one was released, but we recorded that so long ago because I forgot about one, so what I did was I released like two of them, so I forgot to release one on the one Monday. So I released that one the following Monday, then I released the next one the Monday after that, and now we have this one that's not even coming out on a Monday, it's coming out on a Tuesday because we're recording it on Monday because this weekend was busy for me.
Yeah, and by the way, the previous one was 6 days ago.
Yeah. So, and I accidentally had the last one and the one before it both labeled episode 8. My life is in shambles.
No, you don't have them both labeled as 8. You have one labeled as 8, and the other one doesn't even have a number.
What? It has a number. It's got...
No,
they both had
doesn't.
Numbers. Yeah, yes, it does.
I'm looking at it now.
The one I forgot existed is 8.
I see. You labeled it differently than you labeled all the other ones.
Yeah. It's still there. It's just different.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's still there. Don't worry. Anyway, so we're back finally with another episode of the BnB podcast. It's been forever since we've actually fucking recorded one of these. Like, holy shit! It's been a hot minute. And real quick before we dive into the topics, I want to flex on my audience because I already flexed on Brett. John Cena now follows me on Twitter. So, just throwing that out there. If you don't believe me, go to my Twitter and look.
Don't let it go to your head.
Nah, okay, listen, I deserve to flex a little bit, okay? Like, shit, it's fucking John fucking Cena, dude. Come on. Like, the only reason why I guess I'm super excited about it is because ever since I was, like, a wee little baby, not really a baby, but since I was a kid, me and my neighborhood friend Austin, we would always watch WWE, and back then, it wasn't like, we could only either catch it when it came on television, on, I believe at the time it was Saturday. I think one was Saturday night. I think it was Saturday Night SmackDown and Monday Night. Well, Raw was always Monday night, but I think it was Saturday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. We would always either watch it live or he had like tapes. Or he didn't have them, his fucking stepdad did, but it was always fun to watch wrestling, and I remember I loved John Cena, and that was back with the whole chain gang when he wore his black jean shorts, when he wore his black jorts. And I don't know, I freaking loved the dude back then. I still like him. I mean, yeah, he had some rocky, like for example, he wasn't that great in terms of his character of wrestling. When, they turned him complete babyface. It was a great meme. It was a great meme. He kind of went from, he was always an amazing wrestler, it's just his character that he did in wrestling was great for a long time. Frickin' Doctor of Thugonomics, great. Because at the time, rap music was really catching on into culture. It was like the 90s. Rap was coming up. It was cool to be, it was cool to act like the black guy. So you had, like, him coming out here and acting like this tough rapper, which super caught on. And then after that started dying off.
To be the black guy.
Yes, we're making staple quotes here on the BnB podcast. And so yeah, and then eventually, when that went out of style, they wrapped him up as still the thug, but he was like I don't know, he just kind of, I guess, acted more like quote-unquote himself, and I don't know if that's reality himself, or himself as in his character's self. Probably his character's self. He just kind of became the cool guy. And that's back when he had, like, the chain gang, and that was like, the champ era. That was when he first won the championship. He said, fuck this belt, let's make it spin. So he had the spinner belt. And it was a fucking blast, dude. I still remember playing SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, and you could hold down R1 on the PS2 controller and make the belt spin during the entrance of whoever had it. Pretty cool. Anyway, just thought I'd talk a little bit about John Cena since he followed me on Twitter, and I'm super happy about it. Okay, on to the real shit.
Okay, here we go.
So, Brett, please reiterate to the audience, how do you feel about CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I kind of don't either, but I'm including this topic for this podcast for you, the viewer at home, who might care about this game and wants to know some information about it. So,
don't let it go to your head.
So really? CD Projekt Red. CJ, my dog! Oh! CD Projekt Red confirms that multiplayer is coming to Cyberpunk 2077 pits players against a world of criminality and technology, but they won't necessarily be on their own long. Developer CD Projekt Red has confirmed that multiplayer is coming to the game in a post-launch update. The studio tweeted the confirmation, saying that it's coming along with several free DLC updates. There's no firm timeline at this point, nor any word on what the multiplayer will entail. In July, a Polish news source reported that the studio was working on several Cyberpunk-related projects, including what was then called a multiplayer spin-off. And here's, I'm gonna read CD Projekt Red's, two. So, one of two. Until now, the only thing we said about multi, they mean multiplayer, but they literally just typed the word multi, was that it was in R&D. As we're getting closer to launching quote-unquote single-player, Cyberpunk 2077 in April 2020, we'd like to confirm that multiplayer is in the works. If you feel like lending us your skills, apply. And then they actually had a job offer application. Basically they're turning to Twitter to be like, look, if you have skill in developing multiplayer games, hit us up. And so now they're actually like recruiting people to work for them to help create this multiplayer space. Tweet 2 of 2 is the plan for now is to deliver Cyberpunk 2077 in April, then follow up with DLCs, in parentheses, free, with an exclamation mark, and single-player content. And, once done, invite you for some multiplayer action. There you go. 2077 is getting multiplayer, Brett.
Well, fuck. Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
That means absolutely nothing for me, but cool.
It would only mean something for me if it's co-op. Like, instead of, like, I'm, by multiplayer, I don't know what exactly they mean, but if they're, for example, gonna have, like, for example, imagine if Skyrim had PvP multiplayer, like Call of Duty levels of shit. Like, that would be a turnoff. Like, if Cyberpunk is, like, the story-heavy, like, action RPG shooter, and then they turn around and they're like, by the way, you can select from 5 different classes and do 6v6 team deathmatch. I'd be like, yeah, I don't fucking care. But, kind of like, if you ever played Far Cry 3's multiplayer, Far Cry 3 was a blast of a game, but it had a multiplayer that not a lot of people even talk about anymore, because it was literally just, like, it was actually very similar to when me and you played Far Cry 5's multiplayer, Brett.
Okay.
Only there wasn't, like, a server browser. It was literally just, oh, hey, let's boot up one, like, it was like team deathmatch, but you only had one life. And you had, like, a specific, you could customize and set up a specific... So it was elimination. Yeah, and you just set up loadouts and you fucking went at it. One side was the Kirat. I think that was them, right? Was that Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4? Kirat.
Kirat.
No, I think that was 4. I think 3 was the jungle people. I don't remember what their name was though.
Wait, hold on. What was the question again?
I wanted to know the rebel fighters in Far Cry 3. I thought they were Kirat, but I think Kirat is the name of the region that you're in 4. What's the name of the region you're in 3? I don't remember. But whoever the rebels that were fighting against the pirates in that game was one team, and then the other team were Voss's pirates. So it was kind of fun. I kind of wish more people played it. Like, I wish I knew more people that were eager to play it with me. But it was all right. But yeah, so if it's like that, I'm not interested. But if it might get co-op, I might consider it after seeing some reviews and some gameplay and being like, okay, this seems like a good game. Unless doesn't seem like a good game, then fuck that game. I'm not buying it. If it looked to be a good game and it had co-op, would you consider buying it?
Maybe. I'd consider it.
But Brett, Keanu Reeves is in the game.
Don't care.
Don't care. He says. Alright. Next topic is
Topic.
Do you guys remember way back in the day, before Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, or whatever the fuck it's called Biohazard, right? It's like the new one.
Think so.
Yeah. Way before that was even a fucking thing. There was Silent Hills PT, right? Because Resident Evil 7, a lot of people were like, dude, this literally looks like PT. And PT was a, like, tech test to see, it was kind of like a demo, I guess, to prelude to the new Silent Hills game, which the actor that actually was going to be in that Silent Hills game has been repurposed for Death Stranding now. So, that guy that's in Death Stranding, he was gonna be the main character of a new Silent Hill game. But that unfortunately didn't come to fruition because Konami, decided, fuck. Konami decided, I can't remember his name. Oh, Konami decided fuck Kojima. Kicked him out because he was also like one of the lead workers on the fucking Silent Hills game. The guy that made Metal Gear, that amazing stealth action franchise. Yeah. Anyway,
the guy that made A Weapon to Surpass Metal Gear like 5 times over.
Now the latest weapon to surpass Metal Gear was getting fired.
That was the 6th one.
So a lot of people still own copies of that. Right? It is no longer available in the PlayStation Store. However, people who had gotten it when it came out, whether if they deleted off their PlayStation or they still have it installed, it doesn't matter. As long as you owned it at one point, you can still have it on your PlayStation. Don't take my word for it. I think you might still have to have it installed. I think if you delete it, you can't even re-download it. I think you have to have it like installed on your system in order to actually have it anymore. That's why it's so rare. But first of all, if you have a chance to play this game, play it. It's scary as fuck. I've never played it because fuck that horror shit. But from the people I've seen and the people I've seen play it on YouTube and the people who I've talked to who've played it, it is literally one of the scariest experiences they've had. You should totally go play it. Some people still have PT, and now this guy, who is it? His name is Lance McDonald on Twitter, at ManFightDragon. uh, decided to put, I guess, some code into the game that allows him to manipulate the camera angles of the game. So without further ado, the scariest part of PT was just revealed through a hack. Now, Game Informer says the scariest part. It's not really that scary to me. I kind of figured this was what is about to be revealed was what was happening, but I just didn't have it confirmed until now. Remember PT is the first thing that they say. Some people call it the best demo ever created. Others will go as far to say it was one of the scariest games ever made. Konami and directors Hideo Kojima and Guillermo, I don't remember how to say his name, Del Toro, created PT as a way to lure people into wanting a new Silent Hill game. As the demo concludes, players learn that PT simply meant playable teaser, and the tease was actually for a new title called Silent Hills. As promising as this new direction looked, it's dead in the water, and PT can no longer be downloaded. Lance McDonald, who is one of the lucky people who still have PT on his PlayStation 4 5 years after it was removed, just made a startling discovery in the game. McDonald, who runs a Patreon that explores, quote, video game hacking, modding, and exploration videos, hacked PT to show players what happens when the camera faces in different directions as are unfolding. On Twitter, McDonald wrote, in PT, it is common to hear noises as if Lisa, which, by the way, Brett, if you didn't, or anyone in the audience, if you didn't know, Lisa was that woman who was, like, the weird ghost lady that was, like, pregnant and leaked black ooze from down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
that bitch. In PT, it is common to hear noises as if Lisa, that woman, is right behind you, or see weird shadows moving around in front of you, but when you turn around, there's nothing there. I hacked the game to allow the player to see behind. It turns out Lisa, the scary demon in the game, is always behind the player. And worse, she actually latches onto the player after they discover the flashlight. You can see the horror she brings in the video below. Now, I'm not going to play the video. But basically what he's showing is, first of all, he uses this script to lock the camera, which means no matter where he moves with the left analog stick on the PlayStation controller, the camera does not move. The first thing to note is that the player does not have a model at all. It is literally just a floating camera, which that's why, you know, when you look down, you don't see like any part of your body or anything. That it's common for a lot of single player horror, because it's just a lot easier on the engine to not even render a body on your character, you know? So it's literally just a floating invisible camera. So you don't really see like any like man standing there or something that Lisa is following. But apparently, and this is only a short clip, so I'm saying apparently because it's not all confirmed, but apparently at all times during PT, Lisa is behind you. Her model is physically attached to your character. The difference is, she is attached at varying distances. So sometimes she's attached so far that she's completely outside the map when they don't want to spook you. Or when she's supposed to appear elsewhere, like for example, there's a moment when you turn right, because you know the game is about that looping hallway. You turn right and you just see her standing there underneath the light and she's like shaking. Her model is still, I presume, still attached behind you. It's just outside the map. It's like far enough away that it will always be outside the map. But there's a specific moment in the game right after you find the flashlight where there's only one light that is lit at the beginning of the doorway of the hallway right next to the door. And keen-eyed players have noticed that when you pass the light, you can see a shadow coming from behind you of her head twitching, doing weird, like, creepy shit, and the entire time you can hear her breathing behind you. But when you turn around, she's not there. There's nothing there. That's because she is hard attached, meaning, like, there's no give. It is literally just straight attached to your back right behind you. And you find out that throughout the game, she is attached there. From the moment you find the flashlight on, playable teaser, she is attached to you. Constantly. So, again...
That's... Well, I mean... Well done.
Well done on finding that out, and well done to the creators, because that's a very simple way to create a shadow. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a lot of Konami games and a lot of Kojima's works are very creative in that regard. It's like creative as in like it's so fucking simple, and like literally little to nobody has done it beforehand. Another big thing was if you play Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1, in the first level there's a lot of puddles that show reflections. But it's not like a mirror. They didn't like place a camera in the ground that reflects that's facing up, that like kind of shows a feed of what's going. It's none of that. What is actually happening is they put a hole in the floor that resembles the shape of a puddle. And then everything up top is what you're seeing. Like, you know, Snake moving around and like the hallway and the roof and all that. But on the underside, through that hole, is a completely flipped version of the environment that you're currently controlling. So, flipped over, completely upside down, is the hallway. And perfectly synced with your Snake sitting upright, there's an upside down Snake underneath yours, just underneath the floor, who is following your every exact movement. So when you walk over that puddle, it looks like an exact reflection. So, you know, Kojima has done all this crazy shit in the past before. And it's just crazy to think that, like, that much thought went into PT. It's just a playable teaser. And they decided, like, you know what? Instead of doing some fancy shit, let's just geniusly hide her right behind the player. Because, fucking, why not? The player doesn't have a third-person perspective. They can't see exactly what's behind them. Now, what would have really been scary is if the game was third-person, and instead of being attached, and it was, like, over the shoulder, and you could spin the camera 360 degrees around your character, if she was attached to the camera that is detached from your character, or you attach something to the third person camera itself, almost to kind of give it like the monster is no longer attacking your character in the game, it's trying to attack you kind of feel, you know? That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, no. Fun little PT fact for you, I guess.
This is Fun Facts with Ben and Brett.
Yeah, right. Alright, Brett. We're finally here. And by finally here, I mean we're finally in the second half of the podcast where shit gets exciting for you and silly.
And silly. Oh boy. It says silly. He said silly, everyone!
Yeah, shit's actually gonna get fucking stupid. But anyway, before we get to the stupid shit, I have some news for you, Brett, and anyone else who liked Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay. Go on, you have my attention.
It's getting DLC this winter.
Yeah?
Yes, it is called, the title here of the Game Informer thing is, take a look at Kingdom Hearts 3's Remind DLC coming this winter. Kingdom Hearts 3 was one of the first great titles to hit in 2019. That's opinionated Game Informer. I'm not saying it wasn't good, because I never played it, but I know a lot of people who hated that game. And were long-running fans of Kingdom Hearts. It was good, it was just disappointing. Yeah. And there's a chance it could make a big splash again at the end of the year. Today being relative to... When was this article published? Today being relative to the 9th. So... however many days ago that was. 16th now. So back on September 9th they announced this. Square Enix released a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3's. Why does that sound really terrible to me?
Because it's using multiple S's, and S's are usually meant to be for plurals, but...
Hearts 3's. Okay. Now that I say it slower, it makes sense. But, like, when I first skimmed it, I'm like, what the... That makes no sense. Kingdom Hearts 3's Remind DLC, which is tentatively slated for a quote-unquote winter release. The footage shows Sora in various boss battles and conversing with Namine and Chirithi? What? You know who? And Brett lagged out. Great. So I'm gonna keep reading this. I'll fill him in later after the podcast is done being recorded. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to get him in here again. He shouldn't need another invite, but I'm just gonna invite him just to make it easier on him real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna continue reading with this. I'll fill him in later after the podcast on what he missed. Shows story in various boss battles, conversing with those two characters. I'm not gonna try their names again. Organization 3 involvement is also everywhere. The trailer was created for Tokyo Game Show, which implies we may see more of this game in action when the expo begins on September 12th. Square has also stated that the DLC takes players to familiar realms where new bosses reside. Victory will also net Sora new Keyblade. There you go. New bosses, new story it seems, and new Keyblades coming to Kingdom Hearts 3 this winter. I'm assuming that it means either November or December release. So you can expect that probably right around November and December. Okay, Brett. Hi, welcome back. So, I am not going to go back over the Kingdom Hearts DLC. I will tell you about it after the podcast is over. I just don't want to backtrack and have people who, were watching hear it again. We're going to move on to the silly thing. I'm going to end the podcast and then explain it to you. So,
alright, cool.
Are we ready for the dumb, silly shit? This is so stupid.
I mean...
And I hate it.
I guess...
KFC is making a game where you can date Colonel Sanders. No, this isn't a joke.
What? Why?
I don't know, but I'm hoping
hold
we
on.
can find out.
Hold on. Is it the standard kernel or the crispy kernel?
It looks like it looks like Femboy Kernel actually, because there's pictures here, and I'll show you. I'll show you them later. They tried to draw him in they tried to make him in an anime manga-ish art style. Man, his eyelash is too fucking long. I had a legitimate argument with somebody on Discord about this when they first told me about this. They made his eyelashes too long. His whole face now looks like a fucking facial-haired woman. It looks like a lesbian who's cosplaying as Colonel Sanders. It's really terrible. Anyway. It's really bad. Brace yourself!
Lovely.
Brace yourself is how it starts. Brace yourself, Brett! Brace yourself for ludicrous speed!
Prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed, go!
KFC is making a game called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I knew about this before the podcast, but I didn't know it went to these levels. Oh. The Steam product listing for this unexpected release calls it the, quote, most delicious gaming simulator ever. And your goal is to, quote, win the heart of the most famous chicken sales.
I'm severely disappointed. You know what? My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Same, dude. Actually, same. You assume the role of a young culinary student who apparently has eyes for Sanders. As you cook up what we presume is mostly chicken recipes, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you'll make, quote, life-changing decisions that will affect your chances of friendship and love. Along with Sanders, you'll confront other characters, including a dog, and, well, what may be one of the best lists of features ever. 9 lovable characters, multiple hours of playthrough, dateable Colonel Sandings, a secret ending, followed by shh, secret recipes, followed by double shh, cooking battles, battle battles, what? Earn a degree from a fictional culinary school, 11 herbs and spices, cute miniature food, and it is officially created by KFC. No, really.
Well, you see, now I wish I never avoided smoking. Because now I have cancer.
Who doesn't want to play through this? Seriously, as silly as this game sounds,
Everyone.
I love the sense of humor KFC and developer PsyOp are going for. Right now, I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator, just has a coming soon release date and is only listed as PC, but we may learn we may learn more as additional information is delivered. For now, check out the trailer. Yeah, no thanks. Oh my fucking god. The thumbnail for the trailer is a picture of, like, that, like, fucking drag queen Colonel Sanders. And it has the words Colonel Sanders, and then immediately under it is his name written in Japanese. Dude, I'm so done. It's so bad. It's so... Why are we on this earth? Why were human beings placed upon this planet?
Why are we still here?
Just to suffer. I can still feel them. My pride and my lack of cringe. You can feel them too, can't you? All the comrades we've lost to a finger-licking good dating simulator.
I mean, if I lose anybody to playing that game, then they deserve to be lost.
I join you and Nat's party, and Nat's like, Brett wanted me to invite you, and you're just like, Nat, I'm leaving you for Colonel Sanders.
What?
Could you imagine? That would be the funniest shit.
No. No,
He just
don't
goes,
even joke.
No.
Don't even joke.
Dude.
Those jokes are not funny.
Colonel Sanders out here about to steal your man. Dude, fuck's sake, this is so stupid.
Not this man. Maybe the other man in this party, Jesus.
Dude, Colonel Sanders doesn't even look like he has man parts. Like, shit. This is so terrible. Alright, I think we're done. I'm done. I don't...
Why are we still here?
Dude. Fucking dude. A KFC dating game. You got me fucked up.
You know what? Nah, you know the motivation behind it. KFC looked at that fucking one pigeon dating simulator, and they're like, bet.
Hold my beer. Alright. Well, I'm gonna end the podcast. This is a bit of a shorter one, but you know what? I'm not complaining. I'm not looking to extend time. I'm pretty sure everyone's done with this after KFC made a fucking dating sim.
Hey, listen, if any of you are still here after the whole KFC dating simulation, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So that has been the BnB podcast.
Like, fucking honestly.
Thanks for joining us on this adventure, if you want to call it that. Like, fuck.
Nightmare. Gotcha.
Thanks for following us on this nightmare. It has not been fun.
Can't even classify this as a train wreck anymore. Fuck.
Dude, it's a natural disaster.
Fucking...
Alright. Anyway, that was the end of the BnB podcast. Thank you. Fuck. Thank you. I dropped my controller. Fuck.
There's the train wreck.
Thank you all so much for watching. I've been your co-host, Ben.
And I've been your co-host, Brett.
And KFC Dating Sim Let's Play coming soon.
Seriously, though, why are you still here?